Hi there, I'm Dumber, a psychologist, here to help you understand a top but important topic, narcissistic victim syndrome. Imagine being in a relationship where you feel like you're always on edge, second guessing yourself, and maybe even losing touch with who you really are. That can happen when you are dealing with someone who has narcissistic traits. If that sounds familiar, you might have experienced what's called narcissistic victim syndrome. Today, we are going to look at 7 signs that could help you understand if you're dealing with this. These signs aren't just about understanding the other person, but also about recognizing what you are going through. And once you know, you can start the healing process. We will go through each sign step by step with real life examples, questions to help you reflect, and practical tips to help you move forward. Let's dive in together and start understanding this complex but important topic. What is narcissistic victim syndrome? Let's start by understanding what narcissistic victim syndrome really is. Researchers like Dr. Ramani and Dr. Craig explain that it's a set of emotional and psychological challenges that happen after being in a relationship with a narcissist. Narcissists are people who tend to think very highly of themselves but don't have much empathy for others. They often put their own needs first and sometimes treat others as if their feelings don't matter. But what does that do to the people around them? If you have been in a close relationship with a narcissist, maybe as a partner, a friend, or even a parent, you might start feeling anxious, unsure of yourself, or even like you're losing your sense of identity. This can lead to narcissistic victim syndrome, where you are left picking up the pieces of your self esteem and confidence. Let's explore what that looks like with these 7 signs. Sign number 1, chronic self doubt. The first sign is chronic self doubt. Chronic means it's always there, like a cloud that never goes away. Dr. Elnor, an expert on narcissistic abuse, explains that self-doubt is common for people who have been around narcissists because they are constantly criticized or made to feel small. Narcissists often put others down to make themselves feel better. This criticism can make you doubt everything about yourself. You might find yourself constantly questioning your decisions, even about small things. Let's say you used to feel confident picking out your clothes or deciding what to do on a weekend. But now you hesitate or worry that you will somehow make the wrong choice. Imagine you're planning a weekend getaway. Normally, you'd be excited, but now you are anxious and second guessing every detail. What if they don't like it? Or what if I mess this up? Thoughts like these might pop up constantly. Do you feel like you are always doubting yourself, even for things that used to come easily? It's important to recognize that these doubts may not be about you, they could be the effect of someone else's words and actions. Your decisions are valid and you have the right to trust yourself. Sign number 2, persistent guilt and shame. The second sign is persistent guilt and shame. Research by Dr. Basil highlight that feeling of guilt and shame are common among people who have been through emotional trauma, including relationship with narcissists. Narcissists often make you feel guilty for things that aren't your fault. They might say things like you're always causing problem or this is happening because of you. Over time, you might start believing them. Even if you know deep down it's not. Imagine you are late to a gathering because of traffic, and instead of understanding, they say you are always ruining things for everyone. This can make you feel guilty, even though traffic wasn't something you could control. How often do you apologize? Even if you haven't done anything wrong, do you feel responsible for other people's feelings? It's okay to acknowledge that the guilt you're feeling may have been placed there by someone else. Sign number 3, difficulty in setting boundaries. Setting boundaries means creating rules for how others can treat you, and it's essential for your well-being. Dr. Nedra, who writes about boundaries, say that a narcissist often pushes past these limits, ignoring your personal space, time, or needs. If you try to set a boundary, like saying no to a request, they might react with anger or guilt tripping. Over time, this can make it feel impossible to say no, even when you really need to. For example, you might find yourself constantly saying yes to things that make you feel uncomfortable just to avoid conflict. Imagine a friend asks you for a favor at the last minute. You are exhausted and don't have time, but you feel like you have to say yes or they will be upset. This can be a sign that they are not respecting your boundaries. Do you often feel like you can't say no without feeling guilt? Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish. It's necessary for your well-being. You have the right to protect your time and energy. Sign number 4, isolation and loneliness. Isolation and loneliness are common signs of narcissistic abuse. Dr. Lundry, who studies abusive relationships, explains that people close to narcissists often end up feeling very alone, even when they are around others. Narcissists might try to cut you off from friends or family because they want you to rely solely on them. They might say things like, "No one else understands you like I do," or "Your friends don't really care about you." Over time, this can lead to loneliness, making you feel like they are your only source of support. Imagine you used to have regular get-togethers with friends, but now you hardly see them. Every time you plan something, the narcissist convinces you to cancel, saying, "You don't need them, you have me." Do you feel more isolated than you used to? Like there is no one you can really talk to? Remember, it's okay to reach out and reconnect with people who care about you. Isolation is a tactic that a narcissist uses to control you. Sign number 5, constant anxiety and hypervigilance. Constant anxiety is a major sign. Trauma expert Dr. Judith explains that people who experience ongoing emotional abuse can develop hypervigilance, which is like always being on high alert. Narcissists can be very unpredictable. One moment they might be smiling and kind, and the next they could be angry for reasons you can't understand. This keeps you on edge, as you never know what to expect. It's like walking on eggshells all the time, worried that you might do something to set them off. Picture this: you are at home and you hear the front door open. Suddenly, your heart races and you feel tense because you don't know what mood they are in. This feeling of anxiety and tension isn't something you should have to live with. Do you often feel on edge, like you have to be careful about everything you say and you do? Constant anxiety can drain you, and it's a sign that your peace is being affected by someone else's behavior. Sign number 6, loss of self-identity. Losing your self-identity means you start to forget who you are. Dr. Rose explains in his work on relationship with narcissists, a narcissist may subtly or not so subtly pressure you to change your likes, beliefs, and values to match theirs. This might mean giving up hobbies you love or dressing differently just to avoid criticism. Over time, you might feel like you are a shadow of your former self, doing things only to keep the peace. Let's say you love dancing, but they make fun of you for it. Slowly, you stop dancing because you are worried they will judge you. This is how you start losing pieces of who you are. Do you feel like you have changed, but not in ways that feel right to you? It's important to remember that your likes and values are a big part of who you are, and you don't have to give them up to make someone else happy. Sign number 7, feeling crazy or experiencing cognitive dissonance. The last sign is feeling crazy or experiencing cognitive dissonance. Dr. Robin describes this as gaslighting, where a narcissist denies things they have said or done, making you question your own reality. Gaslighting might look like them insisting, "I never said that," when you clearly remember they did. Over time, this can make you feel like you can't trust your own thoughts or memories. Imagine you have a conversation where they agree to a plan, but later they deny ever agreeing. You start to wonder if you misremember, even though you were sure at the time. Do you ever feel like you are going crazy because your memories and experiences don't match what they are saying? Remember, your perceptions are valid, and gaslighting is a tactic to make you doubt yourself. How to cope and begin the healing process. Healing from narcissistic abuse takes time, but it's absolutely possible. Experts like Dr. Peter and Dr. Bessel recommend taking small steps and building support system as you heal. Therapy is a great place to start. Therapists can help you process what you have been through and offer tools to rebuild your confidence. Techniques like trauma focus, cognitive behavioral therapy, and EMDR can be especially helpful for trauma. You can also practice mindfulness. Mindfulness exercises will help you reconnect with yourself. Just taking a few minutes each day to focus on your breathing can make a big difference. Journaling is another tool you can use. Writing down your thoughts and feelings helps you make sense of your experiences. It can be a powerful way to remember who you are and even uncover things you might have forgotten about yourself. Additional tips for healing. Try grounding exercises like naming 5 things you can see, hear, or feel. This can help you stay present and reduce anxiety. Engage in activities you love. Revisit hobbies that make you feel happy and remind you of who you are. Rebuild your support network by reaching out to friends or family members you trust. Isolation isn't necessary for healing, connection is. Remember, every small step you take is a victory. You're reclaiming your life piece by piece. And it's okay to take your own time. Healing is not a race. Thank you for being here with me today and learning about these signs of narcissistic victim syndrome. If you recognized any of these signs, know that it's not your fault and there is hope. Healing takes time, but you don't have to do it alone. There are people and resources out there to help you find your way back to yourself. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with someone who might need to hear this today. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos on healing and self-care. Remember, you have the strength to take back life step by step. Take care of yourself and know that you are never alone in this journey. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. True.